Hey, Lauren is in the house. How you doing, Lauren? Wow, what did you think of that Leafs game last night? Oh my gosh. LA just ran them all around the rink. There was like right from the get-go you could tell they didn't have it. You know what I noticed about the Toronto Maple Leafs is when they start putting their heads down, they're done. That's it. They start getting down on themselves too much. And they did it last night. Once they start putting their heads down, like if I was a coach for them, I'd be like, what's your head down for? Like you're one of the greatest you guys are some of the greatest players in the world. Your head should be up every single time. Doesn't matter what the situation is. You've got they got the guns, but the depth on that team is porous. So bad. If you can run first their top line ragged, and you can get them putting their head down a little bit, uh, you pretty much have the game with Toronto. It's there's they got nothing once that happens. And LA certainly did that last night. Now they got to play Montreal tonight, who is without a lot of players. There was I think Anderson might even be out tonight. Yeah, but once they start putting their heads down and Matthews does it all the time, it's like it's not really that they give up; they just lose their vigor, and they can't they can be outworked. They can be outworked if you get on top of them early. The Toronto Maple Leafs will, they just don't have the pushback to come back in games and stuff like that. They need some leadership there that can actually play. Spezza can't do it all by himself, and he pretty much is right now. They've got a lot of guys there that are just seems like putting in time. Kasha, Kerfoot again. He'll have his games, but for the most part, he's pretty easy to get off his game, and his game isn't all that great to begin with. It was a sad affair, and I'm mad at myself for going for Toronto there. They had a couple. Yeah, they need. You're right. They need guys that aggressive forecheck and have that element to compete in every single situation. Richie ain't it. Richie isn't going to get you there, and he certainly didn't get them there last night. It was a debacle. I didn't really watch the whole game, but and then the Florida game, I thought Florida outplayed the Rangers. They made a couple strong moves to the net, and Florida for some reason wasn't able to prevent them from doing so. I don't think they should have been tired. And Spencer Knight wasn't really on his game either. So the question for tonight now, and as you see, they came back in the third, and that's what I mean. Like there's a difference between possible champion team and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Uh, Florida Panthers, even though they're down 4-0, played their bag off in the third period to come back and make it interesting. In any situation, they don't put their heads down. They believe in themselves and say, you know what, let's give her a go. At the very least, in the third period there, next time they play the Rangers, the Rangers will remember that this team doesn't give up. It's this team might have a bad period or two and you beat them, but they won the third. They won the third. Yeah, they stepped back and played very defensive. And Florida forced them to do that because they played very aggressive hockey, even though they were down 4-0. Now don't get me wrong, being a young team, they have a tendency to do that. they think protect a lead rather than just playing their game. And they certainly did that last night. But Florida didn't give up on the game anywhere I saw. There was some really nice goals. Even the goals that they scored, they were just super nice goals. I mean, let me bring up the game from last night. Who was it that made that cut to the net and potted in the top hand corner? It was a beautiful goal. It was it Losterainen that did that? No, what am I talking about? It was Keandre Miller. Keandre Miller took the outside, came in and cut in front of the net and just roofed it. Like I don't even think it got enough fanfare for what happened. As far as at least the game I was watching, that's like a highlight reel goal, man. It was beautiful. No, it was Miller. But all of them were pretty darn, a few of them were really nice, but that one stood out. He cut to the net and just roofed it. And that's like really tough to do, super tough to do. I think the defenseman gave him that. That's what he had. And he did it. So if a guy, sometimes you just got to say that's too good. That was just too good. And then those New York Rangers have those guys that if they get an opportunity, they can, they don't need all that many opportunities to pot them. They can make moves like that. They got Panarin and they have Zibanejad. And as you can tell, Miller is able to do that. Fox and guys like that. So you get, that'll happen from time to time. They were out shooting them significantly at the time. It was like 25 to 12. And there you go again with Shesterkin too. You got Shesterkin in net, you always have a chance to win. Oilers, man, I didn't even mention last time you were in that last game that the Oilers played, where they were just soft in the first period because they were still caught up in the low retirement thing, and then they came back and won. Yeah, having extra scoring from other players never hurts. Yeah, Oilers tonight and against Detroit with Skinner in net. So, just when you think you got a gimme, they go and throw Skinner in net. They got to throw him in sooner or later, and I guess Detroit is the team. But I'm telling you, it's dangerous. That Bertuzzi, Anderson, Larkin line, you don't want to take them sitting down, that's for sure. They have some moves there. I think there'll be lots of goals tonight, I would imagine. I would hope so. There's going to have to be because with the Oilers' defense and Detroit really having some young guns that can pot them and play against Edmonton's style, not too bad. They better be getting some past. I think it's Nedeljkovic. Probably. I think Detroit's one of those teams that takes like to the last second to tell you who's going to be in. Yeah, right now it still says Nedeljkovic, but I still you got to think the Oilers will be able to out offense them in the long run, as long as they're not playing some of that stupid defensive hockey, coughing up the puck, tentative. If they're playing right in their flow, they should win this game. They should win this game. I think just everybody roots for the guys like Skinner. He's had a good year so far. It's only been a couple of games in the AHL, and he had a pretty good year last year in the AHL. I mean, he's not. I think people that are putting odds on him are like when they found out Skinner was in, the line for Detroit went way up. I think a lot of people don't know who he is. He's not bad. I mean, there's worse goaltenders out there, like Carter Hutton and You know, there's worse goaltenders out there that are in the NHL. Murray, for a lot of times, like, and we'll talk about that, the Boston game, but Murray is not that great. And as you saw from last night with Washington, Vanacek, I still don't think is that great either. Washington had that game the whole game, though. Buffalo just had nothing against them. Yeah, Konovalov is coming up, and that's really, I think, the reason why they're holding out on getting, you know, they don't want to sign anybody long term. When they were in on Markstrom for Calgary, that's like, I think they were just driving up the price for Calgary. I don't think they ever intended on taking Markstrom, but they were just driving up the price for Calgary, which happens a lot. I mean, you can hurt a team in a lot of ways. One of them is destroy their cap space as much as you possibly can. So, but yeah, Konovalov apparently, where is he in the AHL now? Edmonton Oilers. I think he's in the AHL right now. Konovalov. Yeah, he's not crushing it. He's not crushing it in the AHL right now. He might have had a bad night or something. It's only 4 games, but 3.45 and a .850 at the moment. But it's only 4 games into the season. But no, he's not. He's in the AHL. He's played 4 games. Yeah, he's in the AHL now. I just checked it out. Yeah, right now he hasn't put up stellar numbers, so I don't think they'll be bringing him up quite yet. If he was still a Penguin, he would be that okay goalie. I don't know. I think Murray has it's problems upstairs, man. He's got it's mental issues that he's got. He's an arrogant kid. I think he gets easily offended and down on himself, and I don't know. Another guy that is like that is Rittich, too. Could be, he's got all the tools, but ever since after Fleury left in Pittsburgh, it kind of went to his head, I think. And then he would have, like, he thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and which can be okay, I guess. Like Patrick Waugh was like that, but you know, it didn't bother him too much. But he has a couple bad games, and then all of a sudden his confidence just goes to heck. Yeah, I'm one of those goalies. Wonder what how's. I imagine it would have been Konovalov and Rodrigue, or is he in junior? Get up their depth chart here. Let's see if they've also changed their lines at all. No, it looks like they're going to go with Draisaitl and McDavid against Detroit. That's a smart move. Detroit's got nothing to stop those two. Yeah, Oliver Rodrigue, who looks like he's the backup. No, they both played 4 games, and Rodrigue has not put up good numbers either. So maybe it's just a problem of maybe it's a problem of the Oilers not having very good defense down there. I'm not sure. Leafs lost really bad, yes, and they looked really bad doing it. They looked like they were defeated before they got started. It's just if you come out early, and we were just talking about that, John. If you come out early and you know, make Toronto think twice, or start to second guess themselves, you can beat them. Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, there's not a zero. Nobody likes it. Y'all come here and you're not really liking it too much. You just got nothing better to do. You're not going to get picks and players for Koskinen. You might get a pick. Smith, they're not going to trade Smith. There's no way. Smith is there. He's not going anywhere. I'm not sure Skinner is an NHL goaltender yet. I still say we need another goaltender. It would have been freaking awesome if we would have been able to pony up and get Darcy Kemper from Colorado. Because Colorado gave up Timmins and a first. I wonder what they were asking for. That would have been beautiful. I guess that would have been we would have wanted Koskinen to be part of that deal probably, and that might have been what really killed the deal. They didn't want money back. So Tavares is day to day. I did not hear that. Let me bring up Toronto. Jeez, I didn't know that. Tavares, yeah. Uh-oh. He's a game time decision right now, so it can't be that serious. And Andre Kasha is hurt again too. So he was a game time decision last night. He played last night though, didn't he? Could have swore. If you look at their offense, like Austin Matthews has not stellar like we're used to, but still 8 points in 9 games. Nylander 10 and 12. Kerfoot 6 and 12, whatever. Tavares is a point a game. Mitch Marner is a point a game. It's just a huge drop off after that, of course. There's not much down in on the depth chart, and that's really what their big problem is. Once you take out that top line, they got nothing. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Arizona would be happier than heck to give you Carter Hutton all day. No doubt. You're talking about just because he's on the IR, so we don't have him anyways, and he goes away from the cap. Yeah, maybe. But again, Koskinen makes $4 million a year. So I don't know if the Coyotes, I think he's only got one more year though. I think this is his last year, but still. The Coyotes want to stay on that floor. They want to stay floor all the way because they are conserving money. So like they picked up Wedgwood, who's making $750,000, and they got the Malkin, he's making $750,000. So between they're only paying $1.5 million for their goaltenders. Which current goalies have the it factor? Well, Vasilevsky won a couple cups, so you got to give it to him. I still say Fleury does. The it factor. Shesterkin. He has yet to prove it, but in the playoffs, but I'm positive he will. Shesterkin will almost certainly do that. Price, of course, when he's healthy and able to play. I actually think Smith has the it factor that you're talking about as well. Although, he's 39, but if he would have had a chance to play on some better teams when he was younger, he could have did it. One guy that you might want to say, but I really can't say, is Hollebuck. I wouldn't put Hollebuck in that category right now for what he's shown in the playoffs. It hasn't been very good. What do you guys think? Who's got the it factor? I can't I can't put Anderson there yet. I can't put Anderson there yet. We'll see. I mean, I think he's capable of it, no doubt about it. But you're talking about like a goaltender that can just take you there, regardless. Saros feels like he has it, but he hasn't had a really opportunity to show it. Another guy that hasn't had an opportunity to show it, but I do believe will have that it factor, is Blackwood in New Jersey. I think Blackwood has got to be the most underrated NHL goaltender in the NHL. Besides, they got both of them. Although Bernier is not making me look good right now. He hasn't been all that great. It'll be interesting to see. Merzlikins kind of has that for sure. Vasky, Saros, Fleury, Price. Yeah, I would put Blackwood in there, Demko, and Merzlikins. And I'm probably missing some here, but I think Merzlikins has it, man. There's something in that guy. It's just a fire in him that if Columbus can build that team up quick, I think they've got a goaltender there that can do some real serious damage in the playoffs. Possibly even, there's a lot of goaltenders out there that you could say are Vezina caliber, but I should probably change this because we're not talking about Chicago anymore. So people are probably coming over here and going, hey, you're not talking about the Chicago trade. Elvis, yeah, I think Elvis has it. And if Carter Hart, if he will, I think I can't say he has it right now. I can't say he has it right now. Well, Rask, yeah, but he's not really playing right now. But yeah, Rask is a little on the edge. I'd put him on the lower app, but even though he won a cup, but when he decides to, he certainly has it. Where that it factor is like you're just watching and you're like, they're not going to stop. You're not going to score a goal on this guy. Like, there's no way you're going to score a goal. I can't put Darcy Kemper there yet. He looks better this year, which is a sigh of relief. And Jones has been, wow. What a big difference having two good goaltenders like that. And then Elliott goes to Tampa Bay, and well, so far he's really pooped the bed. Well, what other guys are good goaltenders? Thick goaltenders. I honestly think Lehner could have it too, but if he's got his head in the game. Can't say Campbell. Bobrovsky did, but we don't know now. Possibly Markstrom. But those are for sure. Oh, we can't forget Gibson. Gibson can, when he's totally confident in his team and himself, like when I'm watching the game, it's like, I don't know, how there's he's the kind of guy who's like, it makes you think that it's going to be some kind of difficult to get one past him. He's incredible. When he's fully confident and believing in himself and his team, he is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hope the Ducks look like they're trending upward. I hope they are, because I would love to see that guy with the super solid team in front of him in the playoffs, even just an above average one at that. When he's like I said, when he's fully confident in his team. Last year, a lot of the games he won, I think he was the goaltender with the most 1-0 wins last year. And when he's in that zone, and you know he doesn't get frustrated because the teams can't score and sucks in front of him. He looks unbeatable, and I think he's got that fire in him that in the playoffs it's not going to be any different. Personally, I do. Ducks, well, and I never talked down about Dallas Eakins because I think I think he is a good coach. He's just had he's building that team and building their confidence and strength. I mean, yeah, they're getting some big surprising performances with guys out too. Zegras being injured. They seem to have that next man up mentality there, and Isaac Lundestrom, you know how much I like him. 9 points in 13 games from Mr. Lundestrom so far. Sonny Milano has come up at 25. Looks like he's finally matured and ready to go. And look what Troy Terry's doing this year. 8 goals in 12 games. He looks super confident, and a lot of that has to go towards the coach. Adam Henrique has 11 points in 13 games so far this year. He's just there's guys that have to still get there. And Maxime Comtois, Sam Steele, they got to get their confidence going. They got all the talent in the world. Comtois, I don't know. I think he's just got it in his head he's going to be a fourth-line player. He plays like a fourth-line player, but he's got talent to be a lot more than that, and it's too bad to see. But I won't put past Dallas Eakins to get it out of him. It's just look how long it took Troy Terry. Well, I was just watching something on Troy Terry where he said he got married this summer. He got some dogs. He kind of grounded, and he was one of those guys that just puts way too much pressure on himself. And he seemed to just sort of relax this year. That's what he said. He feels relaxed this year. Henrique and Getzlaff. Yeah, Henrique when he left New Jersey, that was for what's that defenseman played in Carolina? Lorne. Baclavarada. No, not Baclavarada. That was a Buffalo Sabres winger. Why do I forget his name? You know who he is. He played in Carolina. He went. Is it 10 goals he's got now? I must have to update. This says 8 goals here. I got 8 goals in 12 games. Vatanen. That's it. Vatanen. They traded Henrique for Vatanen. And I remember hearing I was reading a couple articles on the trade. And almost all of them said it's going to really hurt in the room. Like everybody loved Adam Henrique in New Jersey. He's a player's player. He does things for everybody. He's just one of those guys that, is always got everybody's best intentions in mind, and a solid, solid guy in the room. Yeah, New Jersey. Yeah, they traded Vatanen to New Jersey, and then New Carolina picked him up for a first-round pick, I think, didn't they? They gave up a first for him, or something, or maybe a second. Maybe it was a second-round pick. And unfortunately, by that time, he'd been pretty gibbled up. He was injured. Or did they get him off of free agency? I thought they made a trade. No, what? What did they give up? Oh, Kaukonen. That's what it was. Vatanen was acquired New Jersey Devils and a forward prospect. Yanni Kaukonen in a fourth. That's what it was. So they got a pretty good player back. Kyle, woo! How you doing, buddy? It was Kaukonen. So they got a pretty good player back. Kaukonen's playing well for them in New Jersey there. Mercer, did you watch the games last night? End of fourth, yeah. Yeah. Well, we kind of really talked about the games, but Chris Kreider has got 9 goals so far this year. That line, Kreider, Zibanejad, and Panarin's going nuts, but they're playing them so much. What were their minutes last night? 17 minutes. See, Lafreniere is only getting 10 minutes a night. That is not good. Still, he's only getting 10 minutes a night still. Kreider's getting 18 minutes. Gaudreau. Kakko got a couple more, but he can't seem to put any points up on the board right now either. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. They were all over him, all over the ice. Toronto could do nothing to stop them, really. They were soft on the stick. Toronto is they need grit so bad in that lineup. It is crazy. I don't a grit that can play so bad in that lineup. It is crazy. Like they absolutely need it. When they went and got Foligno last year, it was in the right move, but too bad he was injured. That's why players pay big for guys who can skate and score, like what Buffalo got back in the Eichel deal. I mean, you're probably never going to win that trade, but tucks are hard to find, man. Tucks are hard to. Athanasiou actually played really well last night. Yeah, absolutely, and it was nice, no doubt about it. However, Athanasiou can do that against teams like Toronto that are soft like that. It's when he goes up against teams like Nashville, teams like that Athanasiou is pretty much gone. Like you don't see him anymore. He's super fast. And he will take the puck to the net, especially if you let him. But more. And that was a beautiful goal, too. Gotta love that guy. See, why did they get rid of Moore? That's exactly what the kind of player they need in that lineup. And we're seeing also the effects of, and, of course, Weichel made this quite clear, and we all knew it. Like losing Hyman to this team has just been devastating for them. Bunting is a gamer, but he's too small. he'll put his body out there, but he's not going to win the battles that he's trying to win. But at least he goes and tries to win the battles. But I love Mangiapane. He's one of my favorite players in the league for sure, no doubt about it. I absolutely love Mangiapane. He's right up there with the Kachucks. So you got Mangiapane. Why Calgary always has those players that I love. Mangiapane. Well, there's other guys. Verhaeghe in Florida. Those super high energy guys that can score and play with courage. He's freaking awesome. I'm sure Sutter just absolutely loves the guy. And you know what? Monahan is playing very brave. Now I see with Monahan, he's got a wrist injury problem, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to get better. So they've taken away, it's taken away his best attribute, which was his shot. And he's turned his game around, and he's playing some damn good two-way hockey. Horvat, Fiala. Horvat, yeah, you got to love Horvat. The only guy there. And Garland in Vancouver as well. Garland, Gallagher. You know, all those kind of guys. I love those kind of guys. There are some guys in the NHL that were like, just imagine if you had like Jordan Greenway played like Fiala and all of those guys like that from Minnesota, like some big guys that can play. That's why I like Kachuk so much. They play like that. They're big and they play like that. Cole is going to be good as well. I mean, are you talking about in Carolina? Which Cole are you talking about? Are you talking about a Seattle player? Cole. Greenway, well, he could be great. He needs to play more like that. Too many nights he doesn't play like that. Another guy, like right now, Rasmus Asplund in Buffalo plays a lot like that. He's fun to watch. And he's worked on his offense over and over again. He never really put up great offense in the AHL even. Like, not bad, but not great. And he's got 10 points in 12 games. They got a lot of guys that play, well, that like Tage Thompson, Rasmus Asplund. They're building a gritty team there in Buffalo. A very gritty team, except for Anders Bjork. Oh my gosh. Anders Bjork gets beat off the puck so easy, it's crazy. He should go to Toronto. Yeah, oh, it's guys from the past. Dave Bolland, yeah. Dave Bolland, yeah, there's a blast from the past. He certainly played like that. Pat Verbeek is another guy if you want to go back there. Oh, Cole. Oh, Coleman. Oh, Coleman is like that. They look at Mangiapane, Coleman, Kachuk, all in Calgary. They all play like that. Allison has a guy. There's a good one for Philadelphia. He's a guy that looks like he can be like that. Konechny has been playing like that in Philadelphia. There's another one. Gary Roberts, yeah. And much more of a goal-scoring guy that played like that. Old Calgary guys. Yeah, there's so many of those guys that played like that in Calgary. Wendell Clark in Toronto. One of my favorite players ever was Matthew Barnaby, but he actually fought too, and he was a pest on top of it. But I love Matthew Barnaby. I love those undersized players that fight, except for Ty Domi. I don't know. I couldn't stand Ty Domi. Couldn't stand him. I guess that's good. He played a game and you're not supposed to. But I like guys that kind of lived on the edge of the rules and fought like Barnaby and stuff like that. But there was something about Ty Domi that I don't know, I couldn't stand him. Yeah, Brett Hall. And that was because Brett Hall was outspoken. Brett Hall was a very outspoken player. So, and they don't like guys like that in Calgary. They like you to keep your shut. They're old school. Keep your mouth shut. Do what you're told. All that kind of stuff like that. Johan Franzen was one of your favorites. Gomez out of New Jersey. I wouldn't know if I would call him tough, but well, oh yeah, Johan Franzen. Yeah, there's a good one, buddy. I haven't thought about Johan Franzen was pretty awesome. I mean, he had so many injuries that it wasn't able to. Mike Ricci. Do you remember Mike Ricci? I loved Mike Ricci. Well, CL would know Mike Ricci for sure. That was too bad they had to give him up in the Lindros deal because if Mike Ricci and Lindros were on the same team, that would have been freaking epic. Epic. I loved Mike Ricci. Mike Ricci was one of my faves ever. Eddie Beers, there you go. Duh, we're talking about blasts from the past here. Right on. What's my favorite player in the league right now? My favorite player in, well, okay, not including McDavid because I mean, like, how can you not have McDavid? Like, he does that goal he scored in Detroit. Like, when you do stuff like that, they got to be your favorite player. Like, that was absolutely stupendous. Through four guys with good, solid defensemen, and they just like he didn't even touch anybody. Didn't even freaking touch anybody, man. He looked like he was playing like when you were in high school and you decided to have fun and play with the junior high kids, and like that's what he looked like there. But right now, I mean, he's got to get going, but I still think it's Brady Tkachuk. Maybe Stone or Tkachuk. Stone or Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk. McKinnon? Oh, I could see that. He's pretty cool. The only reason why you don't like McDavid is because he beat your team. Like, if you're looking at it from a straight up hockey, how can you not like that kind of talent? I mean, I just don't see how you like hockey if you don't like McDavid. Lundell is a great two-way player. And you think they got Barkov and Lundell. The only reason why I'm not on Florida tonight, and I haven't put anything in, is that Gibson will be in net. It sounds like Gibson's going to be in net, and he is just terrible. He's not an NHL goaltender. He hasn't even been doing well in the AHL this year. Mitch Marner, yeah? He's got some sick mitts, man. Mitch Marner, and he doesn't get enough credit for going into those traffic areas at the size that he's at and stuff like that. But his confidence isn't very high right now. I mean, I can't really say he was bad. The Rangers just really got some pretty goals last night. They got highlight reel goals. They just made some low percentage plays that takes an extreme amount of talent. Like the one on Miller, he couldn't do anything about that. That was just too good. And I didn't watch every goal because once it was up 4-0, I was really watching more I needed the Capitals to get an over real bad, and the Capitals to win, and then Toronto I watched just hoping that they could come back, but. Yeah, Datsuk looks like a pretty solid player for sure. Sorry, Jarvis. I knew when they got him down there, I was like, there's a whole lot of general managers that are going to regret not getting Jarvis. He's working on it. You're going to have to give him time. I mean, he's bringing in a totally different philosophy than they're used to there. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I think the Rangers are going to still, you got to think they've still got a pretty decent record considering they're not really playing yet to where their capacity could be or the way Gallant wants them to be. So they're fortunate that they have the talent that they have and Shesterkin. Very fortunate that they have Shesterkin. That's he's been really saving their butt right now. But if they keep on playing like they are right now, I don't think, that's not going to hold up forever. They got to play better than they are. You can't just get goals like you did last night all the time. And right now, they're not going to be able to get the dirty ones because they're not playing like that. Yeah, it was a whole different roster makeup and everything. Like, they're learning to play with more grinding type players like Blay and Goudreau and stuff like that. And it's not as high flying as they're used to. So they have to change their mental way of looking at how they're playing there for the Rangers. Yeah, Jarvis. I'm just trying to think. He kind of gives me a little bit of like Marian Hossa, maybe somebody like that. He kind of reminds me of like Marian Hossa. So for the games tonight, let's look at the games tonight. Feel sorry for the Senators tonight. They've got everybody out pretty much. I just heard Mete is out now too. Let me look up Ottawa. And then Forsberg was put on IR, which isn't that big of a deal, but Murray's got to. They were going to play Forsberg, but he couldn't. So now they're going to play Murray, and I just have no confidence in Murray at all. After Buffalo took a pretty bad loss to Toronto, I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty angry in this one. And or Boston. Did I say Buffalo? Boston. Yeah, so their top four is going to be Shabbat, Zaitsev. Eric Brandstrom was brought in. He's going to play. He's been kind of whining and not that he hasn't been getting played, but when he's played, he hasn't looked that great. Delzato and Joshua Brown on the bottom pair is just terrible. The good thing is when Forsberg goes down, they got to bring up Gustafsson. I don't know why they're not playing that guy. Gustafsson should be in tonight. Who else is out? Connor Brown is out. Dylan Gambrell, who they just got from San Jose. Nick Holden. So on the second pairing, Zachary Sanford's got to play up on top minutes now with Norris and Kachuk. And Ennis is out, so Igor Sokolov's got to play and probably somebody else. They got Scott Sabourin up. Scott Sabourin will probably have to play. That would be just Yeah, Delzato's still getting reps. Yeah, he still makes it in the league. He finds a place all the time. He's a pretty good puck mover, but that's about it. He's terrible defensively. Right now, you like Draisaitl? Yeah, I can totally understand that. That guy's got a fire in him, man. Draisaitl, when he's on the ice or even on the bench, he looks like a guy that's always saying, "What's going on, man? Come on, we're winning this right now." Like his intensity is freaking awesome for a superstar like that. If I was, if I were the Toronto Maple Leafs brass or whoever, just take a whole game of Draisaitl where they show the snapshots of him on the bench and see the intensity and focus in his eyes and make Matthew watch it. Say, that's where you need to get to. Matthews. We need all of you. Marner, Matthews, all of those guys. Try to reach that type of intensity every minute of the game. Because that guy is freaking intense, man. He's like Jonathan Toews intense. He owns the game, Draisaitl. I love that about him. He looks like he owns it. I'm owning this game right now, and it goes to everybody, except for Turris, who they finally scratched. Yeah, both of those guys are having both of those guys on the team is crazy. Before I go on here, I'm just going to share this a little bit more. What year was Dre drafted? Well, he was drafted the same year as. I'm trying to remember here now. He was drafted the same year, I believe, as Reinhardt and Bennett, Sam Bennett. Yeah, I think it was Ryan. I think it was. Who was first in that year? Was it McKinnon? No. Anyways, Reinhardt, Bennett, and then Draisaitl. I want to say 2018 or 17 or something like that. What was the year he got drafted? 2014. Has it been that long? Holy crap. Jeez, time flies. Third overall. Let me look that up. (2014) draft. Ekblad. Wow. Yeah, I was right. He was after Reinhardt. He went before Sam Bennett. That's what it was. And then it really went downhill from there. quite a bit. William Nylander was drafted 8th that year. Hayden Fleury, Carolina. Nick Ritchie was 10th by Anaheim. Fiala was 11th. Jacob Verana was 13th. Brandon Perlini, 12th. Dylan Larkin went 15th. Alex Tuck, 18th. D'Angelo, Schmaltz. Actually, there was a lot of good guys in this draft. Redraft that. Yeah. Ekblad, Reinhart, Dry. Yeah, Draisaitl would be first for sure. And then probably go with Ekblad and then Reinhart. I wish Florida would put give Reinhart more minutes up on the top there. Top line. They always play him lower. I don't know why he always gets played lower. I was hoping they were going to play him with Huberdeau. I remember when the Oilers drafted Draisaitl. When the Oilers drafted Draisaitl, they said they thought he was going to be another Kopitar. They said he was going to be another Kopitar, and he's better than Kopitar. So they even underprojected him. He's better than Kopitar. I wouldn't put Ekblad ahead of Draisaitl. No, Draisaitl, then Ekblad, then Reinhart. Actually, there's probably a couple players lower in that draft that I would even put higher than that, maybe. William Nylander. Oh, Nikolai Ehlers was 9th. So you could make a case for them up there too. They need Ekblad. No, I don't know. Get another defenseman. If you had Draisaitl and Barkov as your top two, my gosh. Holy crap. Imagine Barkov would be the second line center. They just go out and get another defenseman, but I'd find. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they thought he was. They did think he was the best in the draft. The Oilers said that they would have picked Draisaitl if they had the #1 pick. So they were actually right about Draisaitl. But even they undervalued how good Draisaitl was going to be. Like they didn't even project him to be as good as he is now, which is pretty killer. Although Kopitar's not that far behind him either. Selke Trophy winner. Draisaitl didn't. Kopitar never had a McDavid to play power plays with and stuff like that. He had some good players, but nobody that level of talent. So who knows what kind of points he would have put up if he was playing with Edmonton. But I still think Draisaitl is. He's just unbelievable. His shot from the slot is one of the best in the league for sure. And he can score in so many different ways, man. From shot, goes to the net, drive to the net. His passing is unbelievable. Like, he is just a beast. All right, let's go look at. We got to get through all the games here for this next hour. Next game is Kings and Canadians, Kings and Canadians. And normally I would never, ever, ever say, or very, very seldom would I pick a team that's coming off a back-to-back. But this Canadians team is Allen just totally lost his confidence. Oh, the one from last night, Toronto, LA. That screwed me too. I thought Toronto was going to rock it, but nope. Yeah, I think in the long run you got to go with Draisaitl, even though you might need defense. I mean, you just talking about that kind of elite talent, you pretty much got to give whatever and then try to fill in holes later because you just. I think Velarde needs to be a winger. I saw them playing on the wing more now, but I mean he's never going to be Draisaitl. He doesn't have the skating to Draisaitl. He's a good tough winger. His question now is he going to be a third liner or is he actually going to have can be able to get top 6 minutes? I thought he would. When he first came into the league, I thought he looked great, but now I don't know, lost confidence or something. I don't know. But I was going to look at Montreal here and the players that they have out. I didn't check. I heard that Anderson was out, but I'm not sure if it's actually true or not. It doesn't say anything about Josh Anderson being out here, but Christian Dvorak is out. And that means Jake Evans has got to be the second line center. That's just not going to work. What's Hoffman going to do with Jake Evans as a center? Not much. Josh Anderson, like that lineup is one and done. They get in, grab it, and then got nowhere to go. It'll be terrible. They're going to have to split up the Toffoli, Suzuki, Gallagher line, I think. With Dvorak out, Cedric Paquette gets more minutes. Who comes in? Adam Brooks? That lineup is just devastated. Like, what's Caulfield doing since he went to the minors, I wonder? Caulfield, since he went to the minors, has played 2 games, had 1 assist and -4. Wow. Wow. What's going on there? The picks that you picked yesterday were losers, Mike. I had Washington and over, so I did well on that. Yeah, Caulfield is -4 in 2 games in Montreal so far, or in Laval. So I guess he'll be down there for a little bit longer. Anyways, yeah, even on a back-to-back, I think LA's got to have that game. I have no faith in that Montreal team at all right now. And it's not like Toronto beat the crap out of them last night or something. So Toronto really didn't do much of anything against them last night. So I have a feeling they'll take that one down tonight. Looking like they did against Toronto. Now that's against Toronto. So we'll see what LA can do against teams like Carolina and Florida in the future. But they were playing the type of game they need to play to win. One guy I really liked last night that looks like hopefully he's brimming up now. I know Hajin, you talk about him a lot. Kaliev looked really good last night. He made a couple good moves. Hey! Caulfield and Spurgeon in a headbutting contest. Why, do they got big heads? I didn't know that. Thanks for coming in, Swerve. Woo! Welcome to the live. See, I just don't see that Montreal has anything to do. Allen is. What's Allen's? What does he have for a save percentage right now? 2.94 to 0.900. I think that's actually better than I thought. Yeah, pretty pathetic looking lineup. So I got to go with LA. And then Carolina and the Lightning. And of course, we got to talk about that game. The tough one for me is that Pesce is out in this game. Pesce is so much for that Carolina team. Now, Brind'Amour is an amazing coach, and I'm sure they'll be able to compensate to a certain extent. But he is a big, big loss for that team. Big. Going against a Tampa Bay team that also is without a very underrated defenseman in Sergachev. So there's that. And then there's always Vasilevsky. It's going to be really tough. But I think coming off of that the first bad game I've seen him play in a very long time, I just can't see them having two bad games in a row. And you know Tampa Bay, when you push them around, they have a tendency to crumble sometimes. And Phil Kessel and Alex Ovechkin, yeah. That would be something. I think that would be a tie. And the looks on their faces, they did it too, because Phil Kessel always looks like he just finished a headbutting competition. He always has that look on his face. I like hockey. Hockey is fun. Hockey's my favorite. Yay! He always looks like that. Maybe it's because his head is so big, I guess. That's why. That would be a smash fest, all right. We'll see if we can get that happening. Get that happening in the off season. You took the Kings tonight? Yeah. I think the Kings, I think they got to go with the Kings. If they can just keep their grind up against Montreal. I guess the only thing about the Kings is Peterson has not played well so far. So if he has a bit of a groaner and Allen has an awakening of sorts, then I suppose. But, and again, they're on a back-to-back, so. Stone, yeah. Who doesn't Lehner too, right? Lehner's up there with the big head in the big head category. Trying to think of some other guys that would be up there. Didn't Hartnell used to have a pretty big noggin? Peterson has played well, and not as well as I've seen him play before. I think he can play a lot better. But if he has a good game tonight, they should beat Montreal. Yeah, he's just been a little inconsistent. That's why they keep on putting Quick in there. He's just not totally there right now. So they're working with them, that's all. I'm sure he'll be fine. I still love Peterson. I think he's going to be great. Scotty Hartnell, yeah. There's another guy from the past, Scotty. You can do a whole lot of Philadelphia players that played. That's the reason why I'm a Flyers fan, because of Craig Berube, Scotty Hartnell, Rick Tocchet, Rod Brind'Amour, all of those guys play like we were just talking about, like the Colemans of the world today and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, that's right. Sam Bennett in his draft year couldn't do one pull-up. Couldn't do one pull-up in his draft year. Oh, that's pretty embarrassing. You couldn't do one pull-up, really? Like, holy crap. I forgot about that, Swerve. I'll bring up the LA Kings here. I can't look at them game by game, but he's got a 3.02 and a .898. That's just not going to cut it in the NHL. He's had good games. He's had really good games, and then he's had not so good games. I can do a pull up. I work out at the gym now. When I was young, I could do them like crazy. When I played, I could do them all day. But then again, I was pretty small, so less weight that you got to pick up, I guess. I don't know. Good balance. A lot of it is balance for pull-ups. It's just getting that right spot. More than likely, Bennett it's just a part of his workout practice he didn't do. He didn't have the balance to do it because he didn't do them. He didn't do them. He did other things instead, I imagine. But I remember when they did that, like when they talked about that, like he was in great shape. There was no problems about really a lot of his strength things he did very well, especially his squats and stuff. Great. His legs were fine. But for some reason, he couldn't find the balance to do a pull-up. Lafreniere is not a bust, but he really has taken a step back this year. Gallant is, I think Gallant is trying to pound down the defensive part of the game with him. And he's resisting. He's not doing it. And until he does, he's not going to get the opportunity he needs to get the offense. And I really thought Lafreniere was going to crush this year. I did. I'll be the first to admit it. No doubt about that. Rangers, you could, yeah, like Kako, yeah, you could say they're rushing their prospects a tad. Yeah, that's true. You're not learning the best defense from the queue. That's for sure. Our version is a welfare version. We call Sturm. Yeah, that's pretty welfare. But Sturm's a good, hard-nosed guy, though. He gives her every game. I do like him a lot, and he's still got a lot of upside. From what I understand, he works on his game constantly too. Like he is a damn hard worker off the ice as well. He earns his way onto the lineup every day. Heidel is day to day. I know that's the reason why I thought Florida might pull it off last night, and I still say they outplayed them. They just got away. Rangers got away with one as far as I'm concerned last night. Yeah, who was second overall? I know the year that Hughes got drafted. I'm pretty sure no, that was Fischer. I had McCarr number 1 on that one. Oh, you're bringing up drafts again. What year was he drafted? 2017, maybe? Oh, that was Fischer. So 2018. What's going on? Remock. Draft results 2018. Darlene Switching. What year was that? Laffy was 220. Okay. It's 2019. No, that was Hughes. Okay, the year that Hughes was drafted, I think I had Hughes. I still think Hughes is going to be great. I loved Kirby Doc, though, in that draft. I didn't have Turcotte that high. I liked Moritz Seider better than Turcotte, so that was good. I kind of got that one right. Trevor Zegras went 9th that year. And then Podkolzin, Soderstrom, not a bad draft. Spencer Knight went 13th to Florida. Cam York, Caulfield, Newhook. In 2020. Oh, Byfield and Stutzla. And then Lucas Raymond. Detroit gets Lucas Raymond and complained about it. They were mad because they said that it was Stevie Y that forced their hand to change the draft because he kept on losing in the draft lotteries and good teams were getting players and all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with them, but yeah, that's right. Seth Jarvis was 13th. Dawson Mercer is they got Holtz and Mercer, New Jersey did. And I wonder what Makamadulin is doing now. I wonder how he's doing. Oh, he's only got 1 assist in 27 games in the KHL. Should be a ways away yet. I think Boston tonight. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a gimme there, Boston tonight. Yeah, Edmonton, I like Edmonton, but I'm a little concerned with Skinner in net and that defense and that top line of Raymond, Bertuzzi, and Larkin. But really, Edmonton should pound the crap out of them. But it's Edmonton. Their defense is terrible. The first 5 minutes is going to be so important. They got to be playing hardcore right out of the gates. You want to I want to see. Oh, I wonder if I should. Oh, that sounds like something like that could happen too. Got to remember that over 1.5 first period. Flames, Pittsburgh. I don't know. I have a feeling about Chicago in that one, but I can't go against Pittsburgh at the same time. Uh, yeah, the Blues. The Blues are playing. Why was I the Jets? Yeah, Hollebuck is back for the Jets. Did you know that? Hollebuck will be playing for the Jets. So I want to see what he does. I really maybe I'm just mad at the Blues for not beating Anaheim last game. Sens are. I don't think the Sens are going to be close. Where I think Boston's going to ruin that game. I couldn't. I can't put any thought towards Murray being in net. I do Ducks I like. The Ducks I like. Well, we were talking about that, John Weichel. Shannon saying that Colorado Avalanche head coach is on the hot seat. We were talking about that before. That I kind of wondered. Like there was a lot of games that Colorado looked like they should be up for, and they weren't. And McKinnon is a pretty competitive dude. So I don't know. I think it's possible. Maybe they want to get a young voice like Coulaton in there. I think That would be interesting. Small players. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple. The ones that do last in the NHL swerve are like Garland, Gallagher. Like they are tougher than heck. Bunting is in there. We'll see how long he lasts for. Tyler Ennis, he's taking a licking and keeps on going over and over and over again. We'll see how long they last for, but I think Garland needs some help in Vancouver. Like he goes in there and roughs it up with everybody, and he ticks everybody off, and then there's everybody just stands around, and then they go to the face-off. Like in Vancouver, nobody's really got your back. So Dubé in Calgary seems to be holding up all right. We'll see how Jarvis does in Carolina. He's not the biggest guy in the world. DeBrincat, guys like DeBrincat is pretty small, yeah. And I wonder if with Caulfield in Montreal, if we're starting to see like him get pretty kind of intimidated right now. Like he probably has taken a kick. Like he's starting to realize what it takes to be an NHLer there now. And I wonder if he's going, man, do I want to keep going here? You stayed away from the Chicago game? Yeah. Vancouver's got a couple players like that, right? And that's kind of the problem. Plus their porous defense. Oh, Hoglander. Nils Hoglander is another one on that team. Connor Garland. They did bring up Justin Bailey, which was a good move for size. Juha Lammikko that they got from in the Florida deal. Who the heck did they send to Florida? Oh yeah, Ulevi. But overall, the team is like they got some bigger guys, but they're not really physical, and they're not guys that are going to have your back. So it's tough for guys like Connor and Nils Hogland to go do that without guys that have your back. TK is feisty. There's another one. Yep. Konechny. Yep. Felix is 5. I don't think Felix is 5'6" though. Yeah, the only one like centers that are small. We'll see what Rossi does in Minnesota. He's not a big dude. That's why apparently he dropped in the draft. But he's got a crazy low center of gravity. It's nuts. I saw him doing squats there. That guy like jumps like a kangaroo. It's freaking crazy. Christian Dvorak is out, yeah. Pius Suter is probably one of I know he's pretty small, but I don't know how small. And most of the time when they tell you this in Cap Friendly and all that, they're giving them an inch or two. They say 5'11", but I don't know. And he's only 176 pounds. 5'11", really, Pius Suter? I think they're being a little generous there. But yeah, small centers in the league. Braden Point. But like he's skilled as heck, yeah. Braden Point's not too big. 5'10", 166. And like I said, that's probably generous. But he's probably the most successful small center in the league. Bully team? No, I'm not 10 minutes behind the chat. I'm just looking at things while I'm chatting. Artur Zerby looked like a 14-year-old when he played. He wore oversized equipment. He looked so small. It was crazy. All bully team in the NHL now? I think we kind of went over this already. Wilson, Tkachuk. Wilson and Tkachuk are the both of the Tkachuks. Wilson are the first one to come to mind. North Stars didn't give Irby a chance, no. Yeah, he got a chance in San Jose and he took it and he played pretty well. But I don't think he would have made it in the league now. The all-small team, that would be interesting. Juicy Saros, the smallest goaltender in the league, or successful one. You'd have, what, Pius Suter and Point in the middle. Trevor Moore. Yamamoto. DeBrincat. Hinostroza, Gerbe's super small. Lizotte. Yeah. Columbus Blue Jackets don't have a single player under 6 feet tall. That's interesting. Point. I wonder what that team like that would do if they could do anything with that kind of talent. Gallagher. And then defenseman, I think you'd have to go like defenseman. You have to go 6 foot or under, I think. Hughes, both of the Hugheses, I think, probably. 6'2" to 6'5" range. Yeah, there are not too many small goaltenders out there. Saros is the one that comes off the top of my head, but yeah, they're all pretty big boys now. I think Trevor Zegras. Sam Steele. No, he's 6 feet. Jamie Drysdale's only 5'11". Do you think butterfly style sucks? Well, it was a lot easier to score on before the butterfly style. Gretzky and those guys had a heyday with the stand-up style. It was all reactionary. It was more fun to watch, though, I have to agree. Ooh, Yaroslav Halak in for Vancouver. I wonder if I hope they go with Gibson. If they go with Gibson, I'm all over. Oh, Drigger is in for the Kraken tonight. Chris Drigger. I don't know what that's going to be like. I'll probably lay off of that. I want to see him play first. He's just coming back off an injury. So anyway, we only went as far as the Lightning. Panthers and Devils, I still don't know who's going to be in net for that. If it's Gibson's in net, I'm gonna go with the Devils on that. If not, I probably fade. Panthers on a back-to-back. Blackwood, almost certainly Blackwood's going to be in. And he is so underrated. It's crazy. Night, it's going to be, they're going to play night back-to-back. Where did you get that from? Because I got nothing on mine. Left wing lock is usually really good at that. Where did you get Knight from? How do you know? Where did you get that from? Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to play Knight back to back. I think it's going to be Gibson. I know he's out. I know Bobrovsky's out. But they're on a back to back. I don't think they're going to play the kid back to back. I don't think so. Yeah, I realize that. I know Bobrovsky's out. That's why I think Gibson could be in. He's the guy they brought up, and he's a terrible goaltender. He's a terrible goaltender. I've never seen a goaltender, an NHL goaltender, who can't close his glove on a puck. All you got to do is shoot to his glove hand, and it'll drop, and you score. Like his whole career, he hasn't been able to do it. It's sort of like an NHL level player that can't shoot. It's really weird. He's got everything else. He seems is fine, but he can't catch a puck in his hand. It falls down all the time. It always falls down on him every time he does it. Unless, yeah, Canes are playing Anderson, and I'm pretty sure Vasilevsky was confirmed. Yeah, Vasilevsky and Anderson. Now, I would think possibly after playing so poor defensively in Carolina or against Florida, that Carolina is going to be focusing heavy on defense here. Hey, Jeff Saint. Woo! How you doing, buddy? He's out for a while, from what I understand. Ranta is out for a while. They called up Lyon, so that'll be an interesting game. We'll see what they can do with Lyon in net. I know Philadelphia couldn't do much with him when he was in net. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Does he have a concussion too? Oh, he could be out for a long time. They won't even know how long he's going to be out for. What do you want to talk about today, Jeff Saint? You're the new guy in here. Talk about the games tonight. Talk about your team. Tell me what you want to talk about. We're all for you right now, Jeff. You haven't been in here for a while. Tell me what you want to talk about, buddy. I'm trying to remember what your team was. Was it Vegas? Are you a Vegas fan? No, he's not very good. What has he done in the minors so far? He usually does not too bad in the minors. Pens fan. Okay. Pens fan. So what do you got? Pens tonight over Chicago. That's going to be a tough one. Fleury, we didn't even talk about that. Fleury gets to have a bit of a, after that embarrassment in Pittsburgh the last time he played there with Chicago. You're an Oilers fan now? Oh, wow, that's a good team to pick. got McDavid and Draisaitl on it. What was I going to? Oh, yeah, Carolina. I was going to look at Lyon. Lyon and what he's got. Alex Lyon. What did he do in the minors so far? I think they played about 8 games. Oh, yeah. Okay. 2.35, but a .091. Like, he always gets NHL call-ups, and his numbers in the AHL have always been pretty meh. David is unbelievable. We were just talking about our favorite players in the NHL. Besides McDavid, because you got to love McDavid as far as I'm concerned, but I love Brady Tkachuk. He's a good hero to have. Did you ever watch the video of how he came back from his knee without surgery? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hold on there, Jeff Saint and everybody. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Who's in net for? It's Peterson. Peterson's going to be in net for LA tonight. I just can't see Montreal. I don't know. They could have an out-of-body experience, but I just don't have faith in Allen at all. Oh, he could be back by next Tuesday? Wow. Philadelphia will be a much bit different team with Hayes in there. Los Angeles is going to have Peterson in net, yeah. And Allen, I don't know when Price is going to play now that he's back with the team. I have no idea. But I would say in the next couple of games, I imagine. But I'm sure they're just going to let him say when he wants to play. He's just getting back and getting in the groove, stretching himself out. so what other games we got tonight? The Pittsburgh game with Fleury and netted, to me, is really interesting. It's hard to go against Pittsburgh in anything that they do. They're always fully prepared for whatever game is coming up. Chicago last game played a much more defensive brand of hockey than they know. This coach is basically telling them we're going to be playing defense. This King coach. Crawford is there too. He wasn't really an overly offensive or defensive coach, Crawford. The score says Quick in net. Wow, what's going on with Peterson if he's in net? Left wing lock. No, I didn't do that. I could have swore I saw Peterson already in there. It says projected still Peterson. If Quick is there, they're going to go back to back with the old Quick. I don't know if that's a good idea either, but that being said, if he can do it at this point, I think he's the better goaltender right now. So might not be a bad thing to do. The score. Wow. Let me look that up another way. Let me look that up maybe on maybe on Daily Faceoff. But they're usually left wing lock is usually the best. Okay, Mackenzie Blackwood is likely. No, nothing confirmed on Daily Faceoff either. Jake Allen is confirmed. Mackenzie Blackwood. No, but they got Forsberg likely. Well, Forsberg, I thought Forsberg was hurt. So one has Forsberg likely, the other one has Murray confirmed. That's weird. And then, so Daily Faceoff doesn't have Dringer in, but left wing lock does. They haven't said anything is confirmed yet. And I want to see if Gibson is in. Gibson against Halak, I think I'll be all over. Halak is terrible. Yeah, Christian Dvorak is out tonight. That's why they got too many people out. They're going to have Jake Evans as their second line center tonight. I think even on a back-to-back, LA will eat that up. Quick is on fire. He's played well for his age, yeah, for sure. He's definitely played well. So for the Seattle game with Drigger in, I'm probably not going to touch that. Vegas has everybody out. Seattle's last game, they played so nervous in the third period to lose to Arizona. Now the question is, how do they react to that loss? Vegas still plays a really good system, even with all the players that they have out. And I don't know what Drigger's going to be like. He hasn't played in a while. He could be really good. He could be not. If you had to make me pick, I suppose I would take Vegas at home on that game. Oh no, yeah. Yeah, I would probably take Vegas on that game, I guess, but I don't feel like I want to touch it. Flames versus Sharks. Now, yeah, I forgot about that. There is a lot of Sharks coming back, it sounds like, because whenever they say they're questionable, there usually means they're coming back. Let's see if they have it. But most teams like to not tip their hand and say whether they're going to be back or not completely. Even at that, with Hill and Ned, I gotta go Calgary on there. Okay, so far it says that they're not back because you got Hataki, Milosh, Megna, and Merkley. No, non-roster Timu Meyer. But they're not calling them injured. That's weird. LeBanc, Meyer, Nieto, they're all Eric Carlson, Vlasic. They just call them non-roster. But even at that, I think the way Calgary's playing now at home with Markstrom playing well. Hey, Oilers, man, welcome back. Yo. I think Calgary probably has to have that. I do probably like the over. Mostly, it's just Hill has not really been good this year. So, and Markstrom has been pretty darn good. So, after I think the last game they lost to Dallas, they got outworked. Dallas outworked them, and Dallas was playing like definitely the best game of the season for them. But I'm pretty sure Sutter's going to make darn good and sure they don't get outworked against San Jose. And San Jose's got the kind of team that if you get gritty with them, you can wear them down pretty quick. So I think Calgary is the team. Ottawa Senators called up a goalie today. Oh yeah, we haven't even checked what the news is yet. Flyers are getting closer to have Ellis and Hayes back in the lineup. Yeah, there it is, Tuesday, like you said. Ellis is ahead of schedule. That's good. If they get fully healthy, man, you never know. That team is could be really darn good. So yeah, John Tavares was absent from practice. Wow. So he's a game time decision for tomorrow with the Flyers. I'm all over the Flyers. After that game, I don't know. Jonathan Drouin won't be back. Dvorak and Josh Anderson are questionable for the game against Los Angeles Kings. I didn't see where Ottawa. What goalie did they call up Ottawa? Well, they had to get Forsberg down. Oh yeah, it's Gustafsson. That's right. They never should have put him down. He was the best goaltender they had. I didn't understand that. It's actually a bonus for Ottawa. You never want to see somebody get hurt, but now they bring up a better goaltender than got hurt, so that's good. The best, I'd say Boston. Boston, the past while, the best come from behind team. Boston, probably Carolina now, though. Boston, like the last 5 years, but I think maybe Carolina. You never think Carolina's out of it. I never feel like Carolina's out of it. That's off the top of my head without really looking at the. Vegas has been good. Vegas, when they're fully healthy, I would say maybe Vegas too. Yeah, Florida, I got to see it a little bit more, but Vegas, their third periods last year were epic. They did it over and over and over again last year. You could put Florida in there too. You never feel like Florida's out of it. And you never feel like Carolina's out of it. Those are just the first ones I come up with. The ones that when I just pop into my head when you bring it up. It's certainly not Toronto. Who's the worst come from behind? Washington. Oh, Washington Capitals. No, Washington Capitals are like the worst, I think. As far as teams that should be good, because like you can't include teams like Detroit or in the playoffs Tampa, but in the regular season I wouldn't say so. I could be wrong about that. You show me statistics and I'll find out that I'm right. If John Tavares is out, yeah, they're in trouble against Philadelphia if he's out. Oh, here's one for you. What's the worst overtime team in the league? This one's easy for me. The worst overtime team in the league. Besides Arizona or somebody like that, but a team that's actually average or better. The worst overtime team in the league. You might want to put Nashville in one of the better comeback teams in the league, too. Who's the worst overtime team in the league? I'll let you sit and think about that one for a bit while I look at the games again. I know mine is right off the top of my head. The team I'm thinking about is a beast of a team, but they suck at overtime. Like they're terrible at overtime. No, well, Montreal might be bad. Vancouver, really? Do they have the worst record? I wouldn't have thought Vancouver, but it's possible. I don't mind it. I think it's way better than a shootout. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of fun, actually. 3-on-3. I would prefer it if they could play 5-on-5 until somebody scores, but I mean that's just not possible for so many different reasons. I think we pretty much went. Anyways, I guess I'll tell you. The New York Islanders. The New York Islanders are terrible at overtime. They don't understand possession at all. All the New York Islanders do is they pass it to someone, and then they pass it to someone takes a shot, they give up possession, and they go back to... They're terrible. You got to play a possession game in overtime. And I don't know why Barry Trotz keeps on going. Basically, he just tells them to find a shot, shoot, hope it goes in, and then, you give up possession right away. That's a sign of a good team? I don't agree. I mean, it is a good team. New York Islanders are a good team. But New York Islanders are a good team, but there's no reason why they can't be better in overtime. It's just a philosophy. It's not like they don't have the players to do it. They could do it. Any NHL player can play 3-on-3 possession. But they're terrible. If it goes into overtime, just take whoever team they're playing against to win, because they're going to win most of the time. The worst transition team in the league. Well, it was Edmonton for a long time, but they've gotten way better at that. Worst transition team. Besides the horrible teams. Worst transition team. Seattle Kraken doesn't count because they're new. Worst transition team. It was New Jersey last year, maybe. Dallas Stars. No, yeah. The Dallas Stars, and they shouldn't be. Maybe, no, I don't know. Is that right? Vancouver Canucks. If Vancouver, maybe it's the Vancouver Canucks. I'll go with the Vancouver Canucks. Seattle would be close. But, I mean, Seattle's a new team, so I would say probably not that. Actually, right now, Boston Bruins are pretty bad. The Boston Bruins at the moment are pretty bad transitionally. Who would you say? Who would you say, Lauren? The worst transition team in the league? I'd say that historically they have been, but I think they've been better this year. But yeah, historically I would say the Ducks. This year they've just been better. Boston has been terrible right now. And we're bad last year too. Well, I guess, my friends, that's my full 42. Got a couple minutes left, but it's not much to get into now with 2 minutes left. It was good talking to you. We'll see how the games are go tonight. Thanks for coming in and enjoying this fine programming. I haven't. I put a pic out on. Night. Well, he was. Yeah, he was, but there was some stuff there that the Rangers just got. They had low percentage plays that went in. Hopefully, he's better next time he's out, because I am a little worried about him being that young and all. Now with Bobrovsky out, they got to lean on him heavy, so we'll see how he responds to basically having to be a number one for the next little while. But that's my full 42, guys. That's all I have to give today. Okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later. Yeah, no, Murray. Oh, I wouldn't take him with Forsberg either, Swerve. There's an inside. Take care. Okay, bye.